What if I told you that Back to the Future, the movie that defined time travel for generations, almost never existed? That the beloved Marty McFly you know wasn't the original choice, and the studio spent $4 million on a mistake that nearly destroyed the entire project? The shocking secrets behind this iconic film will completely transform how you watch it. From devastating casting disasters to dangerous stunts that almost killed the stars, these hidden revelations prove that sometimes the greatest movies emerge from the most chaotic circumstances. The film that almost never existed. You think Back to the Future was an instant hit with studios? Think again. What most fans don't realize is that this beloved time travel masterpiece was rejected by every major studio in Hollywood not once, but 43 times. Bob Gale, the co-writer, revealed in interviews that executives called the script too wholesome and complained that teenagers wouldn't want to see a movie about traveling to the past to meet their parents. Disney famously passed because they thought the mother-son subplot was inappropriate for their family image. Columbia Pictures executives' devastating response was even harsher. Nobody wants to see a movie about time travel. The project sat in development hell for years, until Zemeckis' success with Romancing the Stone finally gave him enough clout to resurrect his passion project. Universal's Steven Spielberg connection ultimately saved the film, but even then, studio heads remained skeptical about a story they considered too nice for 1980s audiences who preferred edgier content like Rambo and Terminator. The shocking truth is that Gale and Zemeckis nearly gave up entirely after years of rejection. They had revised the script 17 times, changing everything from the time machine design to the destination era, but nothing satisfied studio executives who insisted that science fiction comedy was box office poison. The film's eventual success proved every single one of those 43 studios catastrophically wrong, making Back to the Future one of Hollywood's most expensive missed opportunities in entertainment history. The Eric Stoultz disaster, a $4 million mistake. Here's the shocking truth that still haunts Hollywood. Michael J. Fox wasn't the original Marty McFly. For 5 devastating weeks, Eric Stoultz filmed the role, costing Universal nearly $4 million before the unthinkable happened. Director Robert Zemeckis revealed in later interviews that Stoultz approached the character with intense method acting, treating the comedy like a serious drama. Eric was a brilliant actor, but he was playing Marty like he was doing Hamlet, Zemeckis confessed. The breaking point came during the cafe scene when Stoultz couldn't deliver the comedic timing the script demanded. Producer Steven Spielberg made the crushing decision to fire Stoultz and reshoot everything. Meanwhile, Michael J. Fox was simultaneously filming Family Ties during the day and Back to the Future at night, surviving on just 2 hours of sleep. Fox later admitted he was so exhausted he often forgot his lines, but his natural comedic instincts saved scenes that Stoultz's serious approach had killed. The recasting disaster nearly destroyed the film's budget and schedule, but it ultimately created movie magic. What makes this even more devastating is that Stoultz had already formed friendships with the cast and crew, making his firing emotionally traumatic for everyone involved. Leah Thompson revealed that watching Stoultz's scenes being deleted felt like erasing a person from history. The replacement footage required complex continuity matching since some wide shots still contained Stoultz's body double, creating editing nightmares that took months to resolve. Universal executives seriously considered canceling the entire project rather than absorbing the massive financial loss. DeLorean secrets and time machine magic. The DeLorean time machine wasn't chosen for the reasons you think. What most fans don't realize is that Bob Gale originally wrote the time machine as a refrigerator, until Steven Spielberg raised concerns that children might climb into fridges and suffocate. The DeLorean was selected not for its futuristic look, but because John DeLorean's legal troubles made the cars incredibly cheap to acquire. However, the vehicles became a nightmare during production. The gull-wing doors constantly malfunctioned in the California heat, trapping actors inside during crucial scenes. Michael J. Fox revealed that the car's interior reached over 100 degrees under the studio lights, causing him to nearly pass out multiple times. The flux capacitor's iconic Y-shaped design came from Zemeckis' toilet inspiration. He literally sketched it while sitting in his bathroom. Special effects supervisor Kevin Pike created the time travel sequences using a revolutionary combination of fiber optics and practical effects that had never been attempted before. The fire trails were achieved by coating the DeLorean's tires with special chemicals that ignited safely. But the process was so dangerous that stunt coordinators refused to let the main actors perform the effect shots. Hill Valley's hidden psychology. The town of Hill Valley holds dark secrets that psychologically manipulated both the cast and audience in ways you've never considered. What most fans don't realize is that the town square set was deliberately designed to feel slightly off. The buildings are subtly different heights and angles that create subconscious unease. Production designer Lawrence Paul revealed that this architectural trick made actors naturally uncomfortable, enhancing their performances during tense scenes. The Twin Pines Mall location carries devastating symbolism that transforms the entire narrative. When Marty travels back and accidentally runs over one of Old Man Peabody's pine trees, he returns to find it renamed Lone Pine Mall, a detail that proves the timeline has permanently changed in ways both subtle and profound. The clock tower's 10:04 stopping time wasn't random. It represents the exact moment when time itself became fractured in Hill Valley's history. Cinematographer Dean Cundy used specific lighting techniques to make 1955 appear warmer and more golden, while 1985 scenes were shot with cooler, harsher tones that subconsciously communicate the loss of innocence. Even the courthouse square's layout mirrors classic American town planning, but with deliberate flaws that make viewers feel nostalgic for a past that never quite existed. Dangerous stunts that nearly killed the cast. The stunts in Back to the Future were far more dangerous than anyone realized, and several cast members nearly died for the sake of authentic action sequences. The most shocking revelation involves Michael J. Fox's hanging scene in the Enchantment Under the Sea dance sequence. What most fans don't know is that Fox insisted on performing the stunt himself, hanging from actual nooses while Biff's gang threatened him. Stunt coordinator Walter Scott later revealed that Fox nearly passed out twice during filming because the rope was cutting off his circulation, but the young actor refused to use a stunt double. The skateboard chase through Hill Valley's town square became a nightmare when Fox lost control and crashed into a parked car at nearly 20 miles per hour. He suffered a back injury that required physical therapy, but production couldn't afford delays, so he continued filming in severe pain. Thomas F. Wilson, who played Biff, took method acting to dangerous extremes by actually intimidating the other actors between takes. Leah Thompson revealed that Wilson's aggressive behavior became so intense that she began genuinely fearing him, which enhanced her terrified performance but created real psychological trauma. The DeLorean's fire trail effects required actors to work dangerously close to actual flames, and during one take, Fox's jacket caught fire before crew members could extinguish it. The hidden social commentary nobody discusses. Back to the Future contains devastating social commentary that most viewers completely miss, addressing Reagan-era anxieties through brilliant disguise as family entertainment. What fans don't realize is that the McFly family's economic struggles directly mirror the financial uncertainty plaguing middle-class families in 1985 America. George McFly's submission to workplace bullying represents the emasculation of American men during the economic recession, while Lorraine's alcoholism symbolizes suburban despair that families rarely discussed openly. The Chuck Berry scene carries shocking racial implications that transform the entire narrative. When Marty plays rock and roll at the dance, he's literally stealing black musical innovation and giving white audiences credit for its creation, a devastating commentary on cultural appropriation in the music industry. Bob Gale revealed that this was intentional, showing how white teenagers often discovered black music through sanitized versions. The 1955 timeline's apparent innocence masks the brutal racial segregation and social oppression that the film deliberately ignores, creating a nostalgic fantasy that never existed. Even Doc Brown's character represents the fear of nuclear science in the 1980s, with his time machine powered by plutonium serving as a metaphor for atomic anxiety. The film's obsession with consumerism, from Nike shoes to Pepsi products, critiques how capitalism shapes personal identity and relationships in ways that destroy authentic human connection. On-set conflicts and creative tensions. The production of Back to the Future was plagued by creative conflicts and personal tensions that nearly destroyed the film. But these battles ultimately created the masterpiece we know today. What most fans don't realize is that director Robert Zemeckis and producer Steven Spielberg engaged in heated arguments about the film's tone and pacing. Spielberg wanted more action sequences and special effects, while Zemeckis fought to maintain the character-driven story that made the script special. Their disagreements became so intense that Universal executives considered replacing Zemeckis. But his previous success with Romancing the Stone saved his position. The cast experienced their own devastating conflicts behind the cameras. Leah Thompson revealed in later interviews that she clashed with Crispin Glover over his unconventional acting methods, which she found unprofessional and disruptive to other performers. Glover's eccentric behavior included staying in character between takes and refusing to socialize with the cast, creating an atmosphere of isolation that affected everyone's performances. Thomas F. Wilson's aggressive portrayal of Biff created real tension with Michael J. Fox, who admitted that Wilson's intense method acting made him genuinely uncomfortable during their scenes together. The script underwent major changes throughout production, with writer Bob Gale and Zemeckis arguing about character motivations and plot points even while filming. These creative conflicts forced everyone to push harder, resulting in performances that captured authentic emotional complexity rather than simple comedic timing. The sequel trap and cultural legacy. Back to the Future's ending created an accidental sequel trap that haunts Hollywood to this day, while its cultural impact extends far beyond entertainment into science and technology. What most fans don't realize is that the to-be-continued message wasn't originally planned. Bob Gale and Robert Zemeckis never intended to make sequels when they wrote that famous final scene. The ending was designed as a joke, showing that Marty's adventures with time travel would continue indefinitely. However, the film's massive success forced Universal Pictures to demand sequels, creating the devastating pressure that led to the rushed production of Parts 2 and 3. The box office journey reveals shocking truths about 1980s movie-going habits. Back to the Future opened against fierce competition from movies like Rambo and The Goonies, with industry experts predicting it would fail because audiences preferred action over family comedy. Instead, it became the highest-grossing film of 1985, proving that original storytelling could triumph over formulaic blockbusters. The film's cultural legacy extends into real scientific research, with physicists regularly referencing its time travel concepts in academic papers and theoretical discussions. NASA scientists have credited the movie with inspiring their interest in theoretical physics, while technology companies continue using its futuristic predictions as development goals. The DeLorean has become a cultural icon, transcending its automotive origins, representing the intersection of past and future that defines human imagination and technological ambition in ways that continue influencing popular culture 40 years later. These shocking revelations prove that Back to the Future is far more complex and dangerous than the family-friendly adventure you remember. From the devastating casting disaster that nearly destroyed the project to the hidden social commentary that transforms its meaning, this beloved film emerged from chaos, conflict, and creative brilliance that most fans never knew existed. The next time you watch Marty McFly travel through time, you'll see the real story behind every scene. The near-death stunts, the psychological manipulation, the cultural criticism disguised as entertainment. You'll notice the symbolic details, the architectural tricks, and the deeper meanings that make this more than just a time travel movie. If these hidden secrets amazed you, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell for more shocking revelations about your favorite films. What other classic movies do you think are hiding devastating secrets? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to share this video with fellow movie fans who think they know everything about Back to the Future.